Irio or Mukimo is very popular here in Kenya, especially in the central parts of Kenya. And you can serve the dish over some beef stew, chicken stew, or even mutton stew. And it's going to be an amazing time. So grab yourself the ingredients listed in the description box and let's make this delicious recipe. To make this filling and super yummy recipe, you'll need some potatoes, green peas, some maize or corn, cooking oil, black pepper, and salt. So you're going to begin by cutting your maize in half. Then using a small paring knife, you're going to remove your maize from the cob. Just like that. And when you remove your maize from the cob, it's going to be very easy for you to use your thumb and remove the rest of the maize from the cob. For this recipe, I'm going to be using fresh ingredients. So I have some fresh maize, green peas which are raw, and my potatoes, of course. So we're going to be making our Irio or Mukimo from scratch. So it's going to take around a minute to remove the maize from my cob. This recipe is for around 1 to 2 people. You can double up the amount of ingredients and make for your entire family. So very fast, I'm going to finish off removing the maize from the cob. Once you're done removing your maize from the cob, it's time to parboil our green peas and maize. And I'm going to be using a pressure cooker to do so. So over medium-high flame, I'm going to place my pressure cooker and add in 2 cups of water. Then I'm going to add in my maize, cover. So it's going to take around 5 minutes to parboil my maize. Over here, I've already prepped up my potatoes. As you can see, I have 4 large potatoes for this recipe. You can double up the amount of potatoes and green peas together with maize and make for your entire family, as I said earlier. After 5 minutes, you're going to put out the flames, and using a spatula, you're going to manually remove the pressure from the cooker so that you can safely open the pressure cooker. It's going to take you around 30 seconds to 1 minute to fully remove the pressure from the cooker. So once done, I'm going to open my pressure cooker. And this is how my maize is looking so far, and it's well cooked. Yeah, it's super tender. So the next step, I'm going to add in my green peas and salt. Cover my pressure cooker, and then I'm going to be boiling my peas together with maize for 2 whistles. That is going to take around 3 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to be chopping up my potatoes into medium sizes. So using a sharp knife, I'm going to cut in half into quarters, and then I'm going to cube my potatoes. And this is going to take around a minute. Using fresh ingredients is going to make the Mukimo very tasty. Make sure as you're chopping up your potatoes, they're the same size so that they can boil evenly. I'm going to pick a bowl and transfer my potatoes in, and then I'm going to be washing the potatoes for around 2 times so that I can get rid of the excess starch. When your potatoes are clean, you're going to pick a pot, another pot, and I'm going to be placing mine in another burner, and over high flame, I'm going to add in 2 cups of water. transfer my potatoes in. Add in salt, enough to season my mukimo. Cover my pot, and then I'm going to wait for the potatoes to boil until fork tender. Boiling the potatoes in cold water is going to cook the potatoes evenly. So don't boil the water and place in your potatoes, because they are not going to evenly boil or evenly get tender. After 2 whistles, you're going to put out the flames, and then once more you're going to manually remove the pressure from the cooker. And once you have all the pressure from the cooker, you're going to safely open your cooker. This is how my peas and maize are looking like, and they are well cooked. So I'm going to drain the water from the peas and maize, and then we're going to mash up a little bit. So I'm going to be boiling the potatoes for around 3 to 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to be mashing my peas and maize using a potato masher. As you have seen, I've boiled the maize separately together. As you have seen, I've boiled the maize together with the peas. If you choose to boil your maize and peas separately, you can puree the peas using a blender, so that you can get that signature green color on your mukimo or irio. But because I used a pressure cooker, it's going to be very easy for me to mash up my green peas, because they are going to be super tender. After mashing up, this is how the maize and peas look like, and as you can see, it's looking quite creamy because of the peas. So I'm going to check on my potatoes. My fork can run through, so I'm going to cover, put out the flames, and drain the water from the potatoes. Once you are done draining the water from the potatoes, I'm going to transfer my maize over there, and then I'm going to place my pot on my countertop. So I'm going to let the potatoes sit for around a minute so that the excess moisture can escape. And because I added in salt when parboiling my potatoes and green peas and maize, I'm going to be adding in a little bit more salt to fully season my mukimo. Add in a tablespoon of cooking oil, just like that. And using a potato masher, you're going to mash the potatoes. And when the potatoes are fully mashed, I'm going to pick my maize and green peas and transfer in. Mash everything together. Add in some black pepper. I love black pepper. Whenever you're using a non-stick pot to mash your potatoes, always use a silicone masher, because you don't want to spoil the non-stick on your pot. I'm almost done mashing up my mukimo, and it's looking super delicious. Once I'm done mashing up my mukimo, I'm going to give my mukimo a test to make sure everything is perfect. So yummy, so yummy, yum. Finish up mashing, and because my mukimo is ready, I'm going to be serving to show you how gorgeous my mukimo is looking like. So I'm going to pick up plates. Then I'm going to use another small bowl and transfer in my mukimo. Press on the bowl a little bit, just like that, tapping out the excess. And then I'm going to transfer on my plate. After plating up my mukimo, this is how it looks, and you'll notice that it has a very nice green hue color from the green peas, and also you can spot the maize, the green maize that is. So this dish is totally worth trying because it's scrumptious and very filling. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll be trying out this easy recipe.